In order to look at best days, what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you one of my recent best days so that we can pull it apart and see how it happens. So my best days always include rocking it at work and rocking it at home. When I look back, it's got to have both. And so I'm always striving to do both. I don't land there. This is just a goal. In order to get there, I often am looking for hacks. And one of my favorite hacks is attending field trips. When you are able to attend your child's field trip, here's what I find. You get like 10x return on that 3-hour investment. I don't exactly know how it works. So you show up, you're there with your kids' friends, there are other parents, there are teachers, you share a really beautiful moment doing something interesting. So I try to make school field trips, right, come hell or high water. My team knows this, we schedule around it. Got an email, skating trip, about a week in advance, some of you can relate to this. Ice skating trip coming up. I go to my calendar, sure enough, it conflicts 1-for-1 with one of our biggest presentation opportunities in our firm's history. And so I set it down and I thought, okay, I'm gonna miss the ice skating trip this year. A couple hours later, I'm in a meeting and something's gnawing at me, right? And I'm like, what's possible here? And it was actually my strength of creativity that first came forward. That's what was gnawing on me. That question deep inside of me that comes up when I'm not satisfied with an answer and I want to get creative. It's almost kind of like an itch. The next strength that came forward right away was my strength of teamwork. I like working in teams. I think it's more interesting. I know it's just what I love to do. So I went to my team and I said, here's the deal. I have this conflict. I'm curious about how you think we might work around that. They said, give us a day, right? They went off and created a plan. They came back to me and said, they were ready to sell it. Here's what's gonna happen. Laura's gonna lead this presentation. You've been looking to hand off more to her anyway. She's ready for that stretch. You need to practice letting go. Good feedback. And we think this is a great idea because it signals to the client that we have this great leadership bench. Right? And it signals to the client some of our core values around balancing and agility. Couldn't really argue with any of that. One catch was Laura hadn't ever met the client, and they had thought of this and they had a workaround for that as well, how to get her in front of the client even before this big day. So we went with it. Let me tell you, they rocked it. I was able to attend for about 30 minutes, at which point I stood up, I exited the meeting, people barely looked up. I ran to the restroom, changed my clothes, I put my Supermom uniform on, hopped in the car. On the car ride to the ice skating rink, here's what happened. A third character strength came forward. It was the strength of gratitude. I was in the car almost levitating because I was so proud of my team. I was so grateful for the solution that they had come up with, and for how talented that they are. And I was grateful for what we're creating in the world, like our firm. Huge gratitude came forward. By the time I got to the ice skating rink, I gotta tell you, I was pumped. I was just elated. And I ran into the ice skating ring and I had this amazing welcome with my son and I twirled him around in front of all of his friends and we bought everybody soft pretzels and then we skated our hearts out. And that day held it all. It was a best day.